machine designed to process data. First, you enter data devices like the keyboard and mouse. The CPU inside the system unit processes the data. Finally, it displays the output on the monitor and stores your files.
Computers perform tasks quickly. They create documents and communicate. Remember the IPO cycle. Input enters data. Process, the CPU works, storage saves it. Desktop or laptop? Which one is right for you? Let's compare them. Desktops stay in one place with separate parts. Laptops are portable, combining everything in one.
Upgrade easier, laptops are portable. Choose a desktop for a permanent workspace or a laptop to work on the go. Pro tip, desktops are upgradable or portable. Why can a computer so many amazing things? Let's explore its 6 main characteristics. First is speed. It processes millions of instructions in seconds. It produces correct data. And third, it stores a large amount.
Third is storage, for large amounts of data. Computers show diligence, versatility, and work automatically based on your instructions. These features make them valuable for everyday activities.
Ever wondered how a computer turns actions into results? First is input, entering data via a keyboard. Next is process, where the follows instructions. Then output displays it, and storage saves it.
Every task you perform on a computer uses the IPO cycle. Input data, CPU processes, display output, save storage.
Name the 4 main computer parts. Monitor, output device, displays text. System unit is the main part. Keyboard, input device used to type. Mouse, pointing device used to click. Knowing the main parts of a computer is an essential skill. Pro tip, monitor displays, system unit processes, keyboard and mouse enter data. Did you know computers different types? Let's explore the main types. They are classified by size and power. First is the microcomputer or PC. Second is the mini computer for multi-users. Third is the mainframe computer. It's used by banks and airlines. Finally, the supercomputer. It is used for space exploration. This helps you choose the right tool, from micro to supercomputer. Every time you use a computer, let's see how they work. First, you enter data using a keyboard. Second is processing. The CPU processes the data. Third is output. The computer displays the information. Storage. The computer saves your files so you can use them again later. These functions work together every time you create. Just remember IPOs, input, output, storage. What's the difference between hardware and software? Hardware you can see and touch. Software tells it what to do. Easy. Front. Hardware and software work together. Without software, hardware cannot perform tasks. Hardware is what you can see and touch. Software is what you use but cannot touch.
Input, it's easy. Input devices send data to the computer. This keyboard is input, it sends data. This mouse is also an input device. Monitors are output, they show information. Speakers are output, they play sound.
Knowing the difference helps you identify the function of devices. Input sends data, output shows the result.
RAM and ROM sound similar but have very different jobs. RAM temporarily stores data. Data in RAM is erased. ROM starts the computer. RAM is temporary, while RAM and ROM help you understand data. Pro tip, easy to remember. RAM is for running apps, ROM is permanent memory. Can a computer think like a human? The answer might surprise you. Computers process data, but humans use reasoning. Can computers think? Not really. They process data fast, but they need our instructions. What if you remove the RAM? The RAM. This is the RAM. Now let's see without it. It won't boot. Without RAM, the computer can't start. Check if it's properly installed. Or it might need to be replaced. Why do some computers boot so fast? These are the 2 drives, HDD and SSD. Watch which computer starts Windows faster. The SSD loads apps much faster. Choose an SSD for performance. An HDD is still good for storage. This helps you choose. Install Windows on an SSD.
Can a computer run without a CPU? Let's test it. This is the CPU, the brain of your computer. Without it, your computer cannot start or run any programs. Understanding the CPU's role helps you troubleshoot computers and explains why it's so important. Make sure it's properly installed. Are you making these common PC mistakes without even realizing it? Skipping updates can leave your PC vulnerable. Always download software from trusted sources. Full storage can make your computer slow. Frequently forcing your computer to shut down can lead to file corruption. If your drive fails, you could lose everything without a backup. Keep Windows updated and backup files regularly. Can a computer work without an operating system? The answer may surprise you. Programs. This computer has Windows installed. Without an OS, it can't load. So, does a computer need an operating system? Yes! Without one, your computer can't function. Popular OS include Windows, macOS, and
CPU or GPU? Which matters more? They have different jobs. CPU handles daily tasks. GPU is for graphics, gaming, and AI.
If you're browsing, studying, or working, the CPU is the most important. If you're gaming, editing videos, or using AI, a powerful GPU makes a huge difference. Why is your computer so fast at opening apps? It's cache memory, small, ultra-fast, right by the CPU. It stores frequently used data, accessing it almost instantly. That's why tasks run faster. Fastest memory, very small capacity. RAM is larger but slower than cache. Cache reduces CPU access time, but architecture is just as important. BIOS or UEFI, what's the difference? Which one does your computer use? BIOS is the older firmware that starts your computer. UEFI is the modern replacement. It offers faster startup and better security. BIOS or which one is actually better? Old BIOS is text-based and very slow to boot. UEFI is modern and much more secure. For Windows 11, you must use UEFI.
Every time you click your mouse, your CPU does billions of calculations. This tiny chip is the brain of the computer. Without it, your computer cannot function. Every task starts with an instruction. First, the CPU fetches it from RAM. Next, it decodes it into binary, then executes the requested task. Finally, it stores the result. This happens billions of times every second. What helps the CPU work faster? More CPU cores. Cache memory stores frequently used data. RAM supplies the CPU with data, and SSDs load everything faster.
Fun fact, modern CPUs process billions of operations. They have billions of tiny. Pro tip, a fast CPU isn't enough. You need sufficient RAM and an SSD. Why is your computer slow with too many apps open? The answer is RAM. It is your computer's temporary memory, storing data the CPU is actively using. Once the power is off, everything stored is erased.
How does RAM actually work? Apps load from storage into RAM. The CPU accesses it super fast. It stores active data continuously. Closing apps frees up space, letting you multitask smoothly.
What happens if you don't have enough RAM? Your system slows down to a crawl. Apps take forever to respond. It forces your computer to use your slower storage as virtual memory. This leads to intense lagging and freezing.
You press the power button. But how does it actually come to life? The power supply is the heart of your PC. It converts wall electricity into safe power. Without it, your PC is just a collection of parts.
Ever wonder what happens when you press the power button? First, AC electricity from the wall enters the PSU, where it's converted to stable DC power and Windows loads.
Why is your PSU so important? It doesn't just supply electricity, it provides clean, stable power, protecting parts from voltage spikes, and supports high-performance hardware, making your whole PC reliable.
Signs of a failing PSU. Random shutdowns are common. Watch for smoke or noises. Fans spin, then stop. Without it, nothing works. Never buy the cheapest PSU.
Ever wondered who creates everything on your screen? Meet the GPU. It renders images, videos, and 3D graphics. It works with the C for smooth visuals. Without it, you wouldn't see this video.
Whenever you play games, watch videos, edit photos, or use AI applications, the GPU processes millions of pixels and sends the finished image to your monitor. The GPU specializes in graphics processing.
There are two main types of GPUs you need to know. First, integrated GPUs are built right into the CPU. Second, dedicated GPUs are separate and much more powerful, perfect for gaming, 3D design, and intense AI workloads. Ever wonder why a GPU is so important? It's the true heart of your PC's performance.
Modern GPUs cores for simultaneous calculations. For basic web browsing, an integrated GPU is enough. But for gaming or AI, you need a dedicated GPU.
Before Windows even starts, another program wakes up first. It's called the BIOS. It's firmware stored on the checks that your hardware is working properly and loads the operating system. Without it, your computer cannot start.
Ever wonder what happens when you press the power button? First, the BIOS wakes up and starts post. It checks your CPU, RAM, and hardware for errors. BIOS finds the boot device. It hands control to the OS. And Windows starts loading. The system is ready.
What can you actually do in BIOS? You can change the boot order, enable or disable hardware, check your CPU and RAM, set the system time, and configure security. Why is BIOS important? BIOS ensures your hardware functions before Windows starts. Without it, the OS would never load. 6 time.
Did you know most computers use way faster than the old BIOS? It supports bigger drives and better security. Pro tip, only change settings you understand or your PC might not start.
If BIOS already worked, why did computers switch to UEFI? Reason, UEFI is the modern replacement. It starts your PC before Windows loads. It's faster, more secure, and supports newer hardware.
Ever wonder what happens when you press your computer's power button? UEFI starts up and initializes your computer's hardware.
With Secure Boot, it checks that your OS hasn't been tampered with. Finally, UEFI hands control over to Windows.
BIOS versus UEFI. BIOS is the old school tech. It is slow and limited to 2 terabytes. UEFI is the modern standard. It boots faster and supports drives. Plus, it's way more secure. Stick with UEFI for your build. Let's compare BIOS. BIOS is older, slower, and has a 2 terabyte limit. But then came UEFI. It's modern, boots faster, and SAV drives with much better security. So always choose UEFI for your. Why is UEFI important? It helps your computer boot faster, supports massive modern storage, and significantly improves security. It's the modern brain for your hardware. Did you know that almost all new Windows 11 computers use UEFI? It actually requires UEFI and Secure Boot, so make sure they are enabled in your firmware settings. Why does your computer slow down? Here is what is happening. Your RAM is temporary memory. When it gets full, Windows does not just, it uses virtual memory instead. This keeps your computer running.
As you open programs, RAM fills up with data. When it runs out, Windows uses your slower hard drive as virtual memory. Your computer keeps running, but performance drops.
Your RAM is full. Programs respond slowly longer to open. Your computer freezes or lags with constant disk activity. How can you fix it? Close unused apps and restart your computer. Upgrade your. Why is this important? Virtual memory prevents crashes. It handles data when RAM is full, but it's slower than physical RAM. Even an SSD can't match it. Adding RAM improves multitasking. A quick computer pro tip for you. Frequently using virtual memory is a bad sign. It means that you need to install more RAM or that too many programs are running. When you delete a file, is it really gone might surprise you. When you press delete, it isn't erased. Instead, it is moved to the recycle bin, where it can still be restored if you change your mind.
Emptying the bin doesn't erase the file. Windows just marks that storage space as available. New data overwrites it, making recovery impossible.
Can deleted files be recovered? Sometimes, yes. If the file hasn't been overwritten, stop using the drive immediately. If new files overwrite it, recovery may not be possible. Want to permanently delete files? Normal deletion doesn't actually erase the data. Use secure erase tools to overwrite it. Always encrypt sensitive data. Protect your privacy and avoid data loss. Ever wonder why file deletion matters? It helps you recover data and protect your privacy. Here's a fun fact. Deleting only removes the pointer, not the actual data. Your computer was fast when it was new, so why does it slow down? It is not always old hardware. Software and storage issues just build up over time. 1. Too many startup apps. 2. Your storage is full. 3. You are low on RAM. 4. Dust causing overheating. 5. Outdated software. Update your PC.
How can you speed it up? Disable startup apps. Uninstall unused programs. Free up storage space. Keep everything updated. Clean out the dust. Upgrade your hardware.
Why is computer maintenance important? Regular care helps it start faster, run all your applications smoothly, stay completely stable and reliable, and ultimately last much longer. Computers don't just slow down because they're old. They get overloaded with files and background apps. Open Task Manager. Follow Learn with Hackstyle for